So, guys, third time, I see some familiar faces. Maybe you've been here before when I had some of these, let's say, subjects to talk about. Although this is a little bit upgraded subject from the first two that have been discussed before. But I think it's quite simple, especially this kind of, let's say, capital goods you all know, right? More or less, maybe you don't know them, but at least you know what they are, what they represent, how you get them and stuff like that. But what we're going to do today, because these three, let's say, capital goods are like the crown, right? If you put it in an investment way, everybody would like to own at least one of these, right? Especially homes here in Malta, since the prices are like... Anyway. Now, another thing that they are very good at is the actual inflation, right? Since we know that inflation is currently the biggest enemy. Like 3 years ago, people didn't even know what's inflation, but since the government started telling you, we have high inflation, people started learning about it, right? Now, these three historically are practically the best. I will take out Bitcoin since it's only 15 years old. But real estate and gold, we all know that are one of the best hedges against inflation, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to measure like every possible way I could think of between these three things, these three capital goods, of which one is the best, right? So obviously there will be in some categories one, in other categories something else, but at the end of the day, we're going to give like first, second, and third place in every one of these categories, and let's see who wins at the end, right? Now, the first of these, let's say, 4 topics, we're going to compare depending on the market capitalization of the actual good, and we're going to compare on time frame. Let's see how much time it takes for you to actually make some kind of a profit. Now, again, I have to mention this. This is not a financial advice. This is just statistics. As you can see, this is all already recorded. There is nothing for me to lie about, right? Now, as you can see, as already our main character here mentioned, this is just a little bit updated since let's say, April 2024. Now, Bitcoin is a little bit smaller since when I did this presentation, already got like 25% down, so I'm sorry about that, but you know how it is. In the meantime, if we compare for 2024 April, officially we have market capitalization of all the real estate in the world. And again, this is approximation. You can never get it the right thing, right? So we have the real estate, which is residential, and the commercial real estate together. We have around $291 trillion currently invested in any kind of real estate. Then we have gold, which is 15.4. This is the last, let's say, capitalization. Now it's a little bit higher since whenever war starts, we all know where the money goes, right? And then we have Bitcoin, which is the newest one. So if you see the capitalization itself, you can see that Bitcoin is literally junior on those, like literally just born. If you compare it to the other ones, as you can see, we're talking about the smallest one. Now, why is this important? First, we're going to see more or less on a yearly basis how much you actually get in return from this kind of goods. Now, this is an average annual return for gold from 1971 to 2024, where we can see that you get around 8% return. This is like a middle ground, right? There are some years that you're minus, some years you're plus, but at the end of the day, you have around 8% profit from gold, right? Which is standard. I think everybody's satisfied. It's constantly going up. And we have another lie over here that you get 4.24% plus for holding cash. Now, that's a good joke, but anyway. Then we have the global real estate market. As you can see, there are years when it goes up, then years that it goes down. For example, 2021, if you invested in North America, you would have had like in, let's say, middle ground, 42.6% plus on your investment. But there are years, as you can see, where you get like minus 40, right? Now, if you compare all this to Bitcoin, you can see that even if we have those bad years, which are actually just years of the normal cycle, that's the bear market, we have amazing numbers, like literally unbeatable, right? But why is this so? All people that have traded, invested, they know that the market capitalization is very important. Now, basic mathematics of this is that if you invest in Bitcoin, for you to get double your return, the market capitalization of Bitcoin needs to double, right? So from 1.3 trillion, it needs to get to 2.6 trillion. Now, if you do the same in gold, it needs to get from 15 to 30 trillion. So obviously, you understand that we need a lot more money for gold to actually make double of our investment. So for this reason, it's actually normal for you to get a lot more in Bitcoin since it's a lot newer. the market capitalization is a lot smaller. So in this, on an annual basis, obviously, Bitcoin beats everybody like big time. Now, if we compare this on a time frame, right? Let's say, okay, good, but let's see how it is on a longer time frame. As you can see over here on the left side, I don't think you see do you see the laser by any chance? No. So we can see here that normal, let's say standard bull market for these last 3 decades, as you can see, 3 decades, yes. For San Francisco, because, okay, I was generous today, so I took like North American real estate. If I took right now in Republic of Congo, I don't think we're going to get the same. But let's do it generously today. So as you can see, we have 10 years practically from 1995 to practically 2005. In all this, you got like 172%. But it took 10 years for you to get practically, let's say, 2.5x from what you invested. And then you have 4 years of bear market, which is a lot different when we compare it to the Bitcoin cycle, which is fixed 4 years because of the halving mechanism. The same goes with gold, as you can see over here. So the first official cycle when gold actually was introduced to the, let's say, modern finance, we got from 1970 to 1980, it took for gold to reach from $50 roughly to around $500. So for it to go 10x, it took 10 years. Now, this is when gold was introduced to the, let's say, modern finance. Obviously, gold was here like 5,000 years ago, but it wasn't traded on a exchange, right? So if you change, for example, the comparison for the first 10 years in a modern finance of gold, where it took 10 years for it to practically 10x, look at the difference. So from 2009, where Bitcoin was invented, to 2019, this is over here Bitcoin compared to the best, the absolute best stocks that you can buy. So if we invested $100 in 2009, you would have currently had $9.2 million in Bitcoin. This is, if you compare it to any other big company, like for example, if you would have had $200 in Alibaba, if you invested in Walmart, $271, let's say the best. If you invested in Visa, you would have 1.7 thousand or 3,300 in Amazon. It's absolute champion, right? So even on a time scale, if we take this first 10 years, it's incomparable, right? As you can see, this is statistic. You cannot fabricate this, right? So far, we have unfortunately only 1 decade of Bitcoin to examine. Let's see how it's going to be the next one. As we know, market capitalization, as it grows, practically, it diminishes the profit. But in the same time, as we can see, we're on the start. So we have only 1.3 trillion. So in these two categories, Bitcoin, as you can see, wins big time. Do you agree, or? I think you do. Let's take the result. Now, regarding the supply, as you know, it's very important for whatever you're actually investing in to know how much of a supply it is, right? And how much of an inflation it has as well. Because one thing is what is the current supply that is traded on the market. But another thing is how much, let's say, annually it's added from the same supply on the market, which devalues whatever you're investing in because it has inflation, right? So currently on third place, obviously, is the global real estate. Why? Because it has this is like a statistic from, let's say, 200 years back. It has around 7% commercial, every year, 7% more buildings in commercial real estate are built. Same goes for 5% residential estate and 7% agricultural and forestry real estate, which means middle ground is 5%. So if we compare to the other two, definitely real estate loses big time because it has around 5% inflation on a yearly basis. Now, in the same time, if you compare with gold, which is a lot more rare, that's why obviously it's on the second place, currently we have around 201,000 tons that is currently dug up, right? So we're using it, jewelry, I don't know, electronics, you name it. And we have another 53,000 tons that they are still underground. But these are reserves that we know of. So currently, if you practically check, this is their own page. This is literally the Gold Council has its own page where they actually public this public knowledge, practically so everybody to know how it actually functions. On a yearly base, they are digging up 2% from this 53,000. So every year, they're digging up more or less around 2%. And again, this is adjusted, depends on how it is needed. Because if it's war, obviously everybody wants to buy gold. So for the people that are digging up gold and have gold mines, it's obviously smarter to start digging at that time, right? And the other way around. So, but anyway, from all the, let's say, information that we have currently, it's around 2% the inflation of gold per year. And let's not forget the best part. This is 53,000 tons that we know of. Now, there is a lot of gold that we have no idea that it exists. For example, in Ghana, it was like 1 year ago, they literally found like a big stash of gold that nobody even knew about. And obviously, America decided to bring democracy over there right away. That's how it works. What you want to do? Now, in the same time, if we compare this to Bitcoin, we can see that with this halving in 3 days, the inflation, which is 1.6%, will fall to 0.8%. So we already are beating gold in inflation by 50%, right? So we're twice as good against gold by inflation. And every 4 years, this will be going down. 2028, we're going to reach 0.4. 2032, we're going to reach 0.2, and onwards and onwards. And the best thing that we have over here is maybe we can find some gold on Mars. Who knows? Maybe we can find some gold on the moon. But whatever you do, you're not going to find more Bitcoin because the code itself is limiting it to 21 million, which means in this category, I think everybody sees who wins, right? There we go. So we have like what? 200. Now, this part is actually the fun part where we're going to compare everyday things, like literally how you can use it, what you can do with it, which is practically, I think, the most important part. Until now, it was statistics, so maybe it was a little bit boring, but this part you're going to like for sure. Now, how you can invest in it, that's very important because depends actually, can you get into it? Why am I saying this? Maybe you know, maybe you don't, but gold is not very easy to come by or go into, let's say, if you want to trade it or invest in it. Until 2004, there wasn't even an ETF, which means that you couldn't even buy it if you don't go to a jewelry shop to actually buy something out of gold. Now, in this case, finally, we have a lot of, let's say, different types that you can invest in. For example, for gold, you can actually buy physical gold. You can buy gold mining stocks, gold ETFs, gold futures and options, which more or less kind of, let's say, is for now similar with Bitcoin. You have Bitcoin ETFs, which are becoming more and more popular. We have the options, the futures, which are also existing. And then you can buy an actual Bitcoin, right? And then when it comes to the real estate, it gives you a lot of options as well. So we're not even going to go into it. More or less, you know how you can invest in real estate. Now, in this case, I would give everybody the same chance because more or less, so far, there is a lot of ways to actually invest in these goods. But then we are coming to this category, which is called self-custody. Self-custody means, can you actually own this thing and hold it in the same time, which is very important. Because these days, you wouldn't want in a friendly country to own big kind of capitalization that can be taken out of you, right? Like, can be confiscated. So it's very important, can you own it? Now, if we compare to gold, yes, maybe you can own some gold home, but can you stash 10 bricks? Is that smart? I don't think so, right? So, like it or not, custody for gold is practically zero. At the end of the day, like it or not, you need to put it in a safe place. I don't think everybody has like a big safe room in the apartment, let's be honest. Now, in the same time, goes the same for real estate. Yes, you can maybe upkeep 1 to 5 real estates, but at the end of the day, you cannot be present in all your real estate, right? So, burglary, somebody smashed something, you have, let's say, some rental, let's say, that got destroyed by the people that were renting it. So at the end of the day, custody, yes, maybe if you have 1 house, 2 houses, and you live in them, we can say that you actually have custody. But everything else, somebody else is taking care of it for you, right? So you don't actually custody it at the same time. And obviously, Bitcoin, whoever uses any kind of cold wallet, you have complete custody over your capital. Nobody can take it away. Nobody can know how to get it except for you. So I think that this one is a clear winner who is actually over here. Now the next one. How quick can you actually liquidate it? Now, obviously, if you can see over here, we know who is in the third place. Try liquidate fast any kind of real estate. Just try. Let's see how fast you're going to do it. Now, in the same time, gold. For you to actually fast liquidate gold, first of all, you need to be aware of how good of a quality of gold you have. Now, do you even know what kind of scale you need to use to know which kind of carat is your gold? Nobody does, right? Do you own the scale that you can actually say, you know what, this is 22 karat gold? So practically at the end of the day, if you want to liquidate it fast, you're going to lose a lot of the value of this resource because, first of all, you cannot stand behind how clear it is. So practically you are at the end of the day trusting somebody to tell you, no, this is 18 karat gold. Sorry, but this is how much I'm going to give you, right? And obviously, if we look at Bitcoin, you can liquidate it in a lot of different ways. You have the central exchanges, decentralized exchanges, you have the Lightning Network, you have currently a lot of exchanges are giving these debit cards that you can actually have Bitcoin and right away transfer it into any kind of fiat which you want to buy something. So these days, to actually liquidate Bitcoin, it's very, very easy. I'm telling you this because 5 years ago in my country, you couldn't even make an account on Binance. Now, on every corner, you have these exchange offices, and on every one of those exchange offices, there is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Tether, believe it or not. So everybody wants it. You can go into a shop and you can liquidate it right away, and you know exactly how much you're getting for it. You don't need a scale. You don't need anything except for just a normal mobile phone to check what's the price at the moment, right? So it's very easy to actually liquidate it, and obviously Bitcoin is again the winner. Now, how easy to transport it? Obviously, not very easy. I mean, try transport your house. But this is in America. Try transporting a Maltese house. Let me see you. You're going to need a helicopter. Now, in the same time, obviously, it's very fun to transport gold as well. So in this case, you have a big amount of gold, then you have a big amount of headaches. Try transporting it. Again, same situation. And see how much it's going to cost you for this gold to reach just one state to another. Now, imagine if you need to move it from, let's say, America to England. That's going to be a very, very fun headache. And in the same time, obviously, who is the winner here? So transporting Bitcoin takes literally 1 hour until the transaction is finished, and you transport it wherever you want. You transport literally from South America to Japan, then to England, then to Philippines, and it all takes literally few seconds, especially if you're using the Lightning Network. So obviously, nothing is better than transporting Bitcoin. And another thing, try transporting gold through an airport. Put a brick of gold in your suitcase and try to pass the metal detectors, or try to just go to the airport and see what happens. They're going to ask you for documentation from your grandfather onward. How you got this, why you have it, and where you're going with it. On the same time, if you put, you don't even need to put the cold wallet. You just need to remember 24 words. You go on the other side of the border, and you have 10 trillion in your pocket. Try passing with 10 trillion in your pocket. With more than 10,000, try to pass, not with 10 trillion. And see what happens. So obviously over here, we know who is the winner. Now, another very, very important thing is, can it be taken against your will from you? Now, obviously, when we're talking about real estate, it's all good until some kind of a, let's say, situation against you gets into court. And then the judge decides, you know what, we're going to confiscate your home. You don't have any money, we decided to confiscate your home. Now explain to the judge that actually you're against the, let's say, decision and you think it's unjustful. They will take your home and then you can explain yourself later on, right? So it means it can be taken from you very easy. In the same time, gold, a lot of people think that it cannot, but it can. And this is a proof for it. 1933, the American president decided that nobody should own gold. Long reason why, we're not even going to get into it. But he said you have, let's say, several days that you need to bring all the gold that you have into the Federal Reserve. Which means any country, if the most democratic country in the world can do this, trust me guys, any country can do it. Which means at any point you can see on the TV, whoever is the president or prime minister of your country saying, you know what guys, pick up your gold and bring it over here. We're going to give you this funny little paper, which is practically toilet paper, that says, you know what, don't worry, we are keeping your gold safe for you. You can use it for trading, you can use it for investments, but we're not going to give you your gold back. Which means, at the end of the day, the country can take it away from you very easy. Now, try and take this away from me. Try, except for a gun on your head, where you actually need to give your 24 words, nobody can take it away from you. And that's why it's the biggest problem right now and the biggest headache for all the countries in the world. Keep that in mind. And obviously how durable it is. Now, well, I'm not even going to start over here. We know. You don't take care of real estate in 1 year, the second year you're not even going to recognize it. In the same time, obviously, gold is very durable. We know that it's one of the, let's say, most indestructible metals, but in the same time, it's very soft. And we know that that can lead to any kind of damage to the material itself. In the same time, we're talking about digital capital, which is saved on millions and millions of ledgers around the world. Nothing is more durable than that. Because even if there is a nuclear bomb, right now you can write on Google and just write, can you cancel or can you destroy Bitcoin? Even Google will give you can check it anytime. It says like this: you need to shut down the whole internet in the world in the same time. And again, whenever the internet comes back on, we have synchronization from all the miners in the world, and you have Bitcoin again. So it means that the countries, as much as they want, they cannot do anything to it. And can you split it in smaller value units? Now, obviously, yes, maybe you can give one part of the apartment, or let's say one room, but it's not very fun, let's be honest. You don't want somebody living in your own house, right? So this part is kind of obviously third place. Now, gold, yes, you can. You can make coins, you can make these small bullions and everything. But the best part about it is go and try to buy coffee with the bullion. Go in Starbucks and say, you know what? I have only gold. Can I pay in gold? See what happens, right? But in the same time over here, we have literally Satoshis, which were made from the beginning of and the creation of Bitcoin, which is like 1/1,000,000th of a Bitcoin, which was actually made with the intention, when Bitcoin gets a lot on price, to be used for everyday transactions. And we're currently seeing it. Literally, Lightning Network in a lot of places in the world is used for everyday trades. Like you have businesses that you can go and literally use Lightning Network to buy whatever. And they charge you in Satoshis, which means you can literally divide it into 1/1,000,000th of the worth of one Bitcoin, which is amazing. If you ask me, very practical. So the best part at the end is, can you afford it? Now, can you actually buy these things, right? Again, try buying real estate in Malta and see if you can. You will need like 3 people signing for you in the bank. I don't know, blood of a virgin, stuff like that. God help you if you need to get a credit from just to get to any kind of small apartment. In the same time, yes, maybe you can buy some gold. Obviously, as we said, we have like small coins and stuff. But still, we're talking that there is a minimal investment involved, which means that you cannot buy less than this amount, which means you need to buy at least one coin, right? In the same time, we're going back to the same situation. We have 1/1,000,000th of a Bitcoin, which is right now very small amount. I currently don't know how much it is, but it does not require a minimal investment, which means you can invest $5. You can invest 2 cents, literally. If you find an exchange that you can actually invest 2 cents, you can do that. Nobody will stop you. In the same time, again, try investing less than a coin. How? You're going to come and you say, can I have a drop of gold? Doesn't work, right? So as you can see, I don't even need to say, obviously, you saw that at the end of the day, we know who's on first place. Obviously, gold is on second place, especially because the profit is still 15 trillion, unlike 200 trillion, which is the real estate right now. So if you can see, I think it's a clear winner. I don't even need to talk anymore. Maybe I was bothering you a little bit, but I hope you learned something. So thank you very much for actually staying through this presentation, and I maybe see you next time. Thank you.
We are a crypto-native community that aims to learn and share knowledge together. Join us at Soho, The Strand, every Wednesday to dive into our questions section live.